Hi guys, welcome back to our channel. So a lot of people have been requesting me to do a labor and delivery story and like how my pregnancy went. So let's get started. So we already talked about how pretty much how our parents reacted to me being pregnant at 17. Um, if you haven't watched it, it should be in our channel under parents reaction. So yeah, pretty much after that, my mom just took me to a teen clinic to make sure that I was pregnant. And yeah, obviously it came out pregnant, and there they right away helped me apply for like Medicare or Medicaid, sorry, so they can help me pay for when I need to go to like appointments and stuff like that. Because obviously I wasn't working then, so I needed help. Pretty much after they helped me apply, they also helped me to look at what hospital I wanted to deliver at, and what doctor I wanted to go to. So my mom said to pick the doctor that she had us, but that doctor was no longer an OBGYN, so but she had like other OBGYNs that like I guess like I don't know how to explain it, like that collabed with her or something. So I picked a girl one. I'm not gonna say her name, but yeah. And then I went only to like two appointments with her, and I didn't like it at all. They were like old fashioned, like they would just like put this thing in your stomach and you would just hear the heartbeat. You couldn't even see how the baby looked. Only in the first appointment you were able to see. And she told me that no, you can only see the baby like only the first appointment, only like 3 appointments that you were able to see the baby. And I didn't like her service personally because she wouldn't even talk to me or tell me like, oh, the baby's doing good. No, she would just hear the heartbeat and be like, okay, bye, thank you for coming, and that's it. And she wouldn't explain to me like how he was doing or none of that. But before I left to another doctor, they took blood when I was like 15 months pregnant, I believe. And that was pretty much to let me know what the gender was gonna be. And I believe like in December, like a week before Christmas, it was like December 19, yeah. In December 19, I found out what Aiden was gonna be. And well, obviously I found out that it was gonna be a boy. And well, I was super excited, but honestly, for some reason, like all of us thought that it was gonna be a girl. Like me and my mom, we kept having dreams that, well, yeah, that the baby was gonna be a girl, but obviously it wasn't. But when I found out that Aiden was a boy, I couldn't picture myself with a girl anymore, and like I'm just thankful. Like it didn't matter to me whether it was a boy or girl, just as long as the baby was healthy. And yeah, so then I moved to another doctor. Um, I don't know if I can say his name or not, but he's a really good doctor. Like, he really takes care of his pregnant girls. Like, he, I was so blessed to have him as my doctor. And my sister-in-law was the one that recommended me him. So shout out to my sister-in-law. And but anyway, so I changed to him. And then I remember when I went, yeah, it was my first time, and he like this time I was every appointment I was able to see Aiden in a big screen, like everything, his heart, his legs, everything. I loved his service. I remember he was like, "Do you already know the gender?" And then I was like, "Yeah, I do." And then he's like, "It's a boy, right?" And I was like, "Yes." He's like, "Yep, it's definitely a boy." And then yeah, like after that, I was just going to baby appointments all the time, and that was pretty much my life. And then I believe like May came along, and I had my baby shower, May 25th or something like that. But oh, before I go to all that, I remember a lot of people in high school didn't believe I was pregnant because my stomach didn't start showing until I was like 7 months. But guys, I was in the like it's not No, like I wasn't hiding it or nothing. Like you could like people would always ask me like, "Are you pregnant? Are you pregnant?" I wouldn't lie. Like I wouldn't put it out there, but people would tell me like, "Are you pregnant?" Like there's rumors going on that you're pregnant, and like people think you're lying because like you don't have a belly. And I was like, oh, like I wouldn't, like I would tell them the truth. Like I am pregnant. Like, oh yeah, I'm pregnant. But the reason why my tummy wasn't showing is because the first 5 months of my pregnancy, I was constantly throwing up and throwing up and throwing up. Like, guys, it was horrible. Like, it was nonstop. Like, I mean, to the point where, like, everything I would eat, like, even by drinking water, I would throw up water, guys. Like, it was bad. And, I remember, like, it got to a point where I would get migraines like bad. Like I would cry and cry because I would literally be 24/7 in the restroom or have a bucket next to me because I would just be constantly throwing up and I felt so weak. And I remember my mom would just hold me and hug me and try to, like, she would even buy me, because Whataburger is my favorite. And when I was pregnant, all I wanted is a Buffalo Ranch chicken strip sandwich. Like, that's Mac. Like, but anyways, like she would try to consult me in any possible way, but it was just like throwing up and throwing up, and it was horrible. Anyways, enough of throwing up. But yeah, that's the reason why my tummy wouldn't show. So instead of gaining weight and instead of my belly showing, I lost a bunch of weight. Like, well, it was concerning because I mean my stomach wouldn't grow or nothing. But yeah, after, and then it got to a point where I told my baby doctor, and thankfully to him, because when you're pregnant, all you can take is Tylenol and the prenatals. You're not allowed to take ibuprofen or none of. I told my doctor, and he made me some special pills where, so I wouldn't throw up. So that pill, guys, it helped me so much. Like, if you had to take it, I think once or twice a day, and if you would take it, you wouldn't throw up. Like, and one time I remember I forgot to take it and it was so horrible. I was throwing up all day at school. Anyways, besides that, yeah, well, my pregnancy went good. I had my baby shower in May, like I mentioned. And then before I started growing on my tummy, I remember I started bleeding, like, um, and I had to rush into the hospital. I was about 3 months, I think, or 4 months. Well, yeah, I remember, and then I didn't know how to drive back then, so I remember I called my mom and she got out of work and she took me to hospital and they said that it was a symptom of a early miscarriage or something like that. So I was so concerned and, like, I don't know, I was just sad. And well, I was a junior in high school, so um our the high school that I went to has a three floor school, 3-story floor. So I had classes in the third story. So I told the doctor, like, can that like prevent my miscarriage? And then he was like, oh yeah. So he gave me a note and yay, I got to take the elevator the whole year. I didn't have to take the stairs. And then yeah, honestly, my teachers had me so cheaply in so many ways. Like, they would help me so much in school because they just wanted me to succeed, and they were just like such amazing influence in my life. And I don't know, like the whole pregnancy, a bunch of people were just amazing to me, and I'm just so grateful for the friends I had through my pregnancy and my mom. Like, I wouldn't get through it if it wasn't for them. Like, I can't even, like, I just want to thank everyone that's watching this video that was there for me since day one, from my pregnancy and Aiden, and like even after my pregnancy, for my friends that stayed by my side through it all, my senior year. And obviously it wasn't easy, but then, like, okay, so May came around, and then uh, the doctor told me that my placenta, that's where like the baby eats and all that, so the placenta was getting like immature or mature, something like that, which means that like it's getting old, so the baby's not getting enough food. So I had to be going to the doctor now once a week instead of every 2 weeks or once a month. And then yeah, like they were just making sure that the baby was gaining weight or getting enough food. And like I said, my doctor was so amazing. Like he would literally take his time with me. He would make sure that I was okay, or if I had questions, he didn't like care how much he took time with you. Like he literally takes his time, and he explains every part of the body of the baby and what it's doing and how it's going. Like he's just amazing. And then anyways, um, June came around and I finished school and I was 36 weeks pregnant. Like I was ready to give up because I was like so big by then, and it was just so heavy to walk everywhere like that. And then yeah, like June came along, school finished. Then June 13th came and I had a doctor's appointment. So it was during the morning, and I went and he told me, "Oh, you're having the baby today." Like, well, not today, but he was like, "You're gonna have to go to the hospital at 12 p.m. because he said that my fluids were low and that Aiden wasn't getting enough oxygen and that I wasn't either. Like that we both weren't breathing right, but I felt fine, but maybe, I don't know, maybe I don't know. So before 12 p.m. I remember um I was like bleeding or like something happened, and I went before 12 p.m. but they put me like in a big room, but they told me no, like everything's fine, but there's like 2 hours till you're gonna have to come back. So no, there's like 4 hours till you're gonna have to come back. Do you want to leave or stay? And I was like, no, I want to go eat something before like everything happens, because they were gonna induce me, and like you can't eat anymore. So I was like, I haven't ate, like can I go eat something before I have to come? They're like, sure. So I remember me and my mom ate Sonic, and she doesn't like Sonic anymore because of that. She's like traumatized with Sonic. Anyways, we ate Sonic and then we came back home because I wanted to lay down and just, process everything through my mind that I was gonna have a baby. And I remember I couldn't even eat, but I was so hungry, so I just ate everything. So then I laid down with my mom, and we tried taking a nap because obviously it was gonna be a long night. So she took a nap, but I couldn't, like, or I believe she took a nap. I'm not sure, but I remember I couldn't. I was just shaking and shaking, and I couldn't, like, I don't know. I just kept processing, like playing it through my head what was gonna happen and how, like pushing and everything, and I was scared for like me to have a C-section or something. So then yeah, my mom was just trying to hug me, and she was just telling me, calm down, like, you're fine. So then 12 p.m. came, and we left from the house. Well, we left by 11:30, and we were driving. I remember it was raining, and I was like, oh, like, so beautiful. And I remember we got there, we rushed inside because it was raining, and then we went to the third floor. They took me in a wheelchair to my room, like my delivery room. And then they laid me down and they made me change my clothes and put like a gown, and they put me these like socks, and they put this like the epidural, no, not the epidural, I'm so dumb, and something, I don't know, like, you know what I'm talking about, like when you get something right, like when you get something in your hand or like right here in your, yeah, I don't know what it's called. I'm so stupid. I'm having a blonde moment. Um, but yeah, they put that, and then they put like this, like it's a like the same thing where they put it through your hand. It's like a liquid to start inducing you. So then that started, and obviously nothing really happened like during the night, honestly. So then 6 in the morning came, and my OBGYN doctor came, and he was just, well, they had to check, they check you down there to see how many centimeters you're dilated, and I was about, honestly it was so slow. I was like 2, and then I was like 4, and then so he was like, I don't know, like he was distracting me. So then my mom started talking to me, and I was just talking to her, and I was like, I don't know what the heck we were saying. But then I guess since my mom was distracting me, I felt something like, I don't know, it just hurt so much, and I thought he was like checking me down there, but then I felt like a sharp pain and I pushed him, and I don't like, that was my reaction, like I pushed him, and he was like, don't push me, and I was like, sorry, that just like hurt, like, and he's like, oh, it's because I just popped your water, and I was like, why didn't you tell me? And he was like, he said that it was better so I wouldn't like feel the pain. So then but it was like a big needle where they put it up you to like pop your water, and like I felt like a bunch of water coming out of me, and oh, it felt so gross, like you just feel a bunch of water rushing and rushing. And then I remember like a minute after, like I just felt a bunch of contraction. It was so horrible, like, oh, I can't even explain how bad those contractions were, but they weren't that bad. And then yeah, I came later, and they were like back to back, like a minute, or like not even, like I don't know, but it was like back. And I was just holding it, and they were like, you don't want to get your epidural now, like later on you're not going to be able to get it, and I like, it's better if you get it now. I think I got it when I was like 5 or 6, I'm not sure, but I remember I was like, yeah, like, can you bring it, like I can't handle this anymore. And they were like, yeah, we'll tell the guy to bring it, but he's in surgery right now, the anesthesiast or something like that. They're like, but he's in surgery right now, so he can't bring it out just yet. And I was like, are you serious? Like, why do you only have one guy right now? Like, why isn't there like 5 or something? And then yeah, he took long to get to my room. He took like an hour or two. It was so horrible. I remember I was just like trying to hold in the pain, and it was just horrible, like I can't even explain it. And then yeah, they made me like face his back, and they made me like hold the pillow like tight to me, and it was so bad because I was getting contractions like back to back. So they can't give you the epidural while you're getting the contractions, because then you can get paralyzed because you move. So he was like, tell me when you're not getting one. And I was like, okay, I'm not getting one. But then when he was putting in the needle, I was getting one, and I was trying so hard not to move. And but honestly, guys, if you're good with needles, like for me, the epidural was a piece of cake. Like it didn't hurt at all. I didn't even feel it. Like I don't know how people complain about it, like, or make a big deal about it. It's just like seeing it because it's long, but honestly, that it didn't hurt whatsoever. Um, but I don't know, like every time they poke needles in me or like shots, like they don't hurt. So maybe it's that. But anyways, then after that, it was just again back to back contractions, and they give you like this button where you can press it every time you want epidural. For me, it feels so good because you just feel like coldness in your back, like every time you press it. So I'm so stupid, guys. Like honestly, every time I felt a contraction, I kept pressing the button. And I remember they told me, don't keep pressing it because you're gonna feel so numb and you're gonna have trouble pushing. Yeah, I freaking regret that. Like, if you ever have a baby, don't press the epidural too much because you're gonna have trouble pushing. This is a funny story. Like, okay, so since me and Aiden weren't breathing, they put my bed all the way up with my legs open, and they put like a mask, and they had like machines around me, like so I can breathe and give Aiden oxygen. And the nurses, like every time they knock, they just come in. So then somebody was knocking, and they just wouldn't come in, and we're like, come in, like, and they kept knocking, and they just wouldn't come in. So I told my mom, just go open it, please. And then it was my best friend Jacob. Jacob, if you're watching this, sorry buddy, but I'm gonna put you out there. And then he came in, and I was like, shit. So I covered my legs right away with my blanket. And then I remember the World Cup started that day, so he sat down and he was watching the TV. And I was like, okay. And then I was like, and then he looks at me and he's like, so where's Aiden? Where's the baby? And I was like, oh. And I started laughing and laughing. Guys, he thought that I already had Aiden. And then I look at my mom and I was like, what? And I was like, he thinks Aiden's already here. And then she started laughing. I was like, Jacob, he's still in my belly. He's like, oh. And then the nurse came in, and then she was like, okay, I'm gonna check you, like, is he the dad? And I was like, oh, no. And then she's like, do you want me to check you in front of him? And I was like, no. And then Jacob was like, oh, I'll be back when the baby's born. And I was like, okay. So then Aiden's head was like already there. I felt so much pressure, and I was like ready to go. It was already like 12, and then the doctor came and I started pushing like around 12:15. I don't know, because I remember I took like 15 minutes or 20 minutes to push, because that's how numb I was. Like I was having so much trouble pushing. So they made me put my legs up, and I remember I tried to hold my mom's hand, and they were like, no, no, you can't hold her hand. Like you have to hold you hold your legs. And there was a nurse practicing, and then the other nurse. So everything she would do, she would do it again. But honestly, those two ladies were so amazing with me. Like they were so amazing. I should have known their names, but if you ever watch this video or something, they probably don't even remember me. But they were so amazing. Like they made such an impact. They made my labor and delivery so memorable. Like they took care of me so much, and I'm just thankful. Like I said, like I had such a amazing people through my pregnancy, labor, everything. But yeah, so then the doctor came in, I put my legs up and blah blah blah, and then I started pushing. You have to hold your breath for 10 seconds and just push. I couldn't even get to 10 seconds. I was only able to get to 8. And then I kept pushing and pushing, and Aiden wouldn't just come out. And I don't know, maybe I was too numb, but I couldn't. And then I remember they're like, okay, just go to 8 seconds, but keep pushing, like if you're pooping. And I was like, okay, okay. And guys, you can't even poop or pee during your labor. They like stick this I forgot what it's called, and I know all of this, but I'm having a blah moment. It's like it sounds like caterpillar, something like that. I know probably many of you are gonna laugh at me, but something like that. And they put it so while you're like you don't feel like you're peeing, but you're peeing, and it's just going through something. And honestly, guys, I had to like take a dump before I was gonna have Aiden, and I was so scared to poop while I was pushing, but I did it. Whew. But yeah, like I kept pushing, and Aiden just wouldn't come out. And I remember that my doctor was like, we're just gonna have to do a C-section, and like it's not happening. And I was like, no, no, please. And he's like, then push, like if you need to poop. And I was like, fine. So then I kept pushing and pushing, and then Aiden's head was already more than halfway out. And he's like, look, he's already there. And I remember he grabbed my hand and he made me touch Aiden, and I felt his head, and I was like, oh, like no. And then he was like, see, he's already there, just push. And I was like, okay. And I kept pushing, and then like he came out, but Aiden did cut me, like just a little though, but he did cut me. So when Aiden came out, he didn't cry or anything, and like I got so scared. And when I like I reached to see what was happening, I just saw his face like purple or something. And I remember I got so scared. Like I was like, no, like what's going on? Like, because I remember they told me that he wasn't breathing. Anyways, yeah, I pushed and I had Aiden. So then he wasn't breathing, and he was next to me in a bed, and they were trying to like do everything as possible. And well, they were stitching me up, so I just turned, and they were just trying, and I think they stuck something in his throat, and it like he had water inside of him. I guess when they popped my water, he like swallowed it. And then yeah, he was, but they wrapped him up and they put him in my chest for a picture, but then they had to take him to the NICU, and they kept him there for about 2 or 3 hours, and then they brought him next to me. But I had to make sure, because he was still having trouble breathing. And I remember for the longest time ever, guys, I believe till he was 4 months, like you could hear him breathe when he was asleep, and you can hear like or like when he would drink bottles, you can hear like and I don't know, I remember it so traumatizing. Like I couldn't even go to sleep because I was just making sure he was breathing. But yeah, from there, like after I had Aiden, Okay, after that, the hospital was so horrible. They don't care about you after you have the baby. They just throw you and they don't care about you. And I remember, like, I was in so much pain. Like, I'm not sure if it was worse for them to stitch me down there or to have a C-section. Like, I think it took me longer to recover than my sister-in-law who had a C-section. Like, I couldn't even sit on my ass like that. Sorry, that hurt so much. Like, oh, it was horrible. And then they would take long to bring me painkillers. And honestly, guys, the experience after I had Aiden, the hospital wasn't like very nice. And then so there, they taught me how to breastfeed and everything, which I appreciate. Honestly, I appreciate. I'm not even gonna be ungrateful. Like, even it was bad service after. Like, I'm grateful that I had a hospital to go to because after I had Aiden, I couldn't even sit or nothing. But I remember milk wouldn't come out of me. It was just like these white things. I forgot what it's called. But Eden wouldn't get full, and I kept breastfeeding him like every 30 or every 20 minutes, and obviously he wouldn't get full, and I got so like mad. So because when I signed the paper, I put breast milk and formula. So I was like, can I have some formula because he's not getting full with my breast milk? And I remember they're like, no, we're a breastfeeding hospital, like you have to breastfeed. And I was like, okay, I am though, like, but he's not getting full, like I'm gonna breastfeed until I am gonna breastfeed, but obviously I'm gonna breastfeed more when my milk comes in. So then I remember it got to a point where I freaking demanded the formula. Like, I was like, I want the formula. I'm gonna sign the thing where I want the formula, just the formula. And yeah, they got mad, but they still bought me the formula. And then I remember they would make me get out of my room and walk around the little, like, after postpartum or something, the like after you have the baby. And it was so hard to walk, guys. Like, I was in so much pain. The experience was so memorable and it was just so beautiful. I love my baby. I can't even like explain how much I love him. It was beautiful. And yeah, like after, well, I got to take the next day, I got to take Aiden home. And yeah, I came home and my mom helped me out with everything. And but yeah, and then like a week later my milk came in, so I started breastfeeding Aiden until he was like about 3 or 4 months. But anyways, thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys liked my story. I tried to make it interesting, but it's just a labor and delivery story. Anyways, don't forget to comment, like, subscribe, whatever you all say. Anyways, thanks for watching, and we'll be back with more videos. Bye. Mickey Mouse.